Hello everybody and welcome to Forever Cricket on Forever Sports. And tomorrow South Africa will take on Ireland in the second ODI after the first one was unfortunately washed out. Shock and horror, a match in Ireland was affected by rain to the point where they had to cancel it. So tomorrow hopefully you'll be able to try and get a full game. The weather forecast was already looking a lot better for the rest of the week in Dublin, so hopefully we'll be able to get a full game. And it was probably hope for a little bit of a better performance. Whilst I think that the Irish team, struggled maybe to get runs, we didn't look particularly potent in terms of being able to get wickets, which is quite concerning. But obviously you can't make much of a call on the batting lineup. But it'll be interesting to sort of see what the PROTEAS go with tomorrow. As far as I'm concerned, I would name it a completely unchanged side. Because I think that we didn't really get to see. I mean, we've seen bowlers, so maybe actually no. I think I'll probably make one side. I'll go with the predicted team. I think I have made one change to the side, but I think that it's another opportunity. Look, it's a big series. For as much as people might say it's Ireland, it all counts towards World Cup qualification and the World Series and stuff like that. So, which we're doing terribly in, by the way. So it's actually very important that we get this series done and we get a very good result. Which is why rain being affecting it on Sunday really was not part of the plan. But hopefully we can try and not bounce back, but get up to a really good start tomorrow and start to assert authority a bit. I thought we were a little bit lackluster with maybe sort of giving it a bit easier for Ireland. I think I'd like to see us be a bit more aggressive from the early stages, try and look for early wickets, try and make a breakthrough. I mean, you think of Brendan McCullum back in the 2015 World Cup semi-final and the fact he had like 3, 4, 5 slips cordoned against South Africa, and saying, well, there's lots of gaps in the field, we'll concede runs, but we're going to take wickets. And we know that if we can take, 3, 4, 5 wickets early on, you're not going to score a lot of runs, and then we can chase it down. So I kind of hope that we can kind of sort of go more back to that and just try and be a little bit more aggressive. We've got attacking players in the likes of Shamsi. Get aggressive with Ibrahim, get aggressive with Anwar Nokia. And let's try and take wickets early. Let's try and sort of stamp our authority on the game itself. In terms of our batting lineup, as I said, we didn't see it, but this is kind of what I think we'll probably go with. I think we'll pretty much be unchanged. The only change I would make is I will give Kagiso Rabada a rest and bring in Anwar Nokia. The alternative is to give Lungingidi a rest and bring in Anwar Nokia. But Nokia missed the last T20 in West Indies and I missed the ODI on Sunday. So I'd really like to try and bring him back into the side and give him some more sort of game time. He's been our top wicket taker in all formats this year. So I think it's important that he keeps playing. And I think that his raw sort of pace will offer us quite a lot. Maybe we don't go with 2 spinners, although I thought Keshav Maharaj and Tabraiz Shamsi were both pretty good. So I think we'll probably stick to having 2 spinners, but maybe you go with Rabada, Nokia, and Ngidi, and you leave out, Keshav Maharaj. But I do also quite like the fact that Maharaj offers a little bit of batting. So I don't think we'll see too many changes. I think maybe we'll see Quinton de Kock in the final ODI. I think you probably will get 1 game at least. Because I think, it's nice to rest players, but you want to still be able to play them regularly and keep up that good form. So it also wouldn't be surprised if he comes back in. But it's difficult to drop any batsman who didn't get a chance. So Yanama Milan and Aiden Markham at the top of the order I really like. As I said, I think it's between Aiden Markham, Yanama Milan, and Quinton de Kock. It's 2 of those 2 that will open moving forward. Well, it's pretty much between Milan and Markham as to who will sort of open with Quinton. I really like Tim Bavuma at 3. I think he's the perfect number 3. He rotates the strike. He relieves pressure. He's got a very good technique, so he can be deployed as a second opener. He's a very nice foil because Yanama Milan, Ed Markham, and Quinton de Kock, they're all very aggressive players. So I think it's nice to have Tim Bavuma, who's maybe not as aggressive, but more of a sort of intelligent batsman, very technically very solid. Can work the ball around, very quick between the wickets, very aware, plays situations very well. He's a nice sort of level-headed, as is Rassie van der Dussen. Rassie van der Dussen is somebody who starts quite slow and then sort of accelerates on. Kyle Verreynne, I like to see him behind the stumps, and I think I would play him even if Quinton de Kock comes in. You've got to try and play him in that number 5. Dave Miller's sort of being given not really a last chance. I mean, he's fairly settled, but I think he's under a little bit of pressure to try and add some runs. And Dila Petlaquire, Keshav Maharaj, obviously 2 all-rounders basically. Maharaj, I wouldn't really call him an all-rounder, but he does bat a lot. So it does sort of lengthen the batting lineup a little bit. So that, it's only Nokia and Ngidi Shamsi, your sort of last 3. You don't really know how to hold a bat. So I think it's in the south there's quite a nice sort of balance. And I think that, I'm hoping we'll get to see Curtis Comfort back in the Ireland side. I'll be very keen to see how he goes, the ex-South African. But it's a game which, as I said, I just want to say it's being aggressive. I understand that it's not the best opponent, but we're going to be facing a lot better, and this is a nice chance. In these sort of opportunities, I want us to try and just sort of stake our blueprint, take our blueprint, how we want to play cricket, and you need to play against that, against every side. If you want to be aggressive against India, if you want to be aggressive by Australia, this is where you do it. You be aggressive against Ireland. I don't really like trying to sort of play and negate every single team you play with, where you try and sort of adapt and think, well, Australia's got this sort of thing. I prefer us to sort of really sort of back ourselves, and I'm all for making sort of a couple of changes where necessary, but I really like the idea of just, this is our blueprint. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to play our style of cricket. You come wherever you go, and we're going to impose this on you. And I think that this is the perfect sort of series, both now and the T20, to sort of start establishing that blueprint and start sort of working towards it. It's been a bit of a tough start for Temba Bavuma as captain in the ODIs at the moment, so hopefully he'll have better chance, better luck in the next 2 games. But if we can sort of leave Ireland and the West Indies and come back to South Africa with, you know, 3 series victories, that's a nice momentum. And yes, you know, the West Indies aren't the best test side, Ireland not the best limited over side. It's test victories, but I mean the West Indies, I think their T20 series win is massive. I think that'll go down as one of the better T20 series victories we've ever had. I mean, they just absolutely decimated Australia over the weekend. So it's a really good West Indies side. So I think we're in a reasonably good place. I think we're in a nice sort of a new dawn, and people are starting to sort of catch up to the fact that this is a new team. I mean, it's not an old team. You know, Temba Bavuma, Rassie van der Dussen, Dave Miller, you know, those players are sort of getting, Kesha Maharaj, those players are sort of getting on in years, but not like in the sort of 35, 36-year-olds. But Aidan Markham's sort of in his mid-20s, coming into his peak. Adam Milan's still a young player. Kyle Verreyn's a very young player. Adila Petlaquai is still very young. Anut Nokia's, you know, not closing in on 30. He's still very inexperienced. Lungi Ngidi is still very young, despite how much he's done already. So it is very much a new side. And, you know, it's a side that needs to be allowed to grow. But let me know what you think is going to happen with the match. I think we'll have no issues. I think if we win the toss, I'd like to see us bat first and go and put on a big total. You know, I think we probably will back. So I think that we'll be worried if it's rain affected. Let's try and see if we can get some time in the middle and start stringing together partnerships and stuff like that. But I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing at the moment. There's a lot of players who I'd like to sort of see come in, and especially when we get to our test series, but we'll sort of talk more about that next season. I also think the next season is going to be very nice domestically. We've got a lot of good players coming back into our shores. All the county players are coming back to South Africa to play cricket. So we're going to see some very good players like David Bedingham, you know, Kyle Abbott and all the likes back. Hashim Amla's back and playing brilliant cricket in the county cricket. So I think that South Africa cricket, if we can get over the sort of the administration issues and start building towards it, I think we've got quite a nice foundation that we've got all the ingredients, we've got all the tools, we've got everything we need to build a nice foundation to start growing our test side, our ODI side, our T20 side to be world beaters. We just need to do it properly. But let me know what you think is going to happen in the game. Smash like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. We'll have a review up tomorrow after the game. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven, and I'll chat to you guys soon.